I'm trying again. Welcome back to Resistance Chicks. We've missed you so. We want to take you right into what we have missed while we were gone, which is LePen's loss. And we all want to cry, and that's okay. There's hope.
There's hope. I'm going to take you on a little tour. Nigel has been on all of the news networks, mostly Fox News. And he helps us to explain LePen's loss, Macron's win, the Rothschilds, the bankers, and hope for 2022 and the awakening. Maybe France wasn't quite ready for Frexit, but LePen's voters are young. They are waking up. I think that 80% of Macron's voters were over 65.
So they're all going to die off, which is not what we would hope for exactly, but maybe
right. Exactly. I think that they might not be quite as informed on Twitter and Facebook and in social media.
And then there's the whole fraud thing.
So what I'm thinking is that they got most of their news, like, older people here would too as well, news from the mainstream media. And if you were watching the mainstream media, you would think that Le Pen was just a racist and a fascist and all these crazy things. Right. So it kind of shows that
in keeping with the whole thing that they keep saying that Le Pen was like Trump, why don't we go ahead and call her a misogynist as well? Because we're calling her everything else. She hates women. She is one. I hate them.
Look at the mood music. He walked up to give his victory speech to the anthem for the European Union.
Pause. Are you stinking kidding me right now? Okay? He walks up. If I win.
Coming down the steps of the Louvre, looking all a bit presidential and slightly somber as well. On his own, interestingly, not with Brigitte alongside him. And it's worth just reminding you just how far he's come in such a short space of time. Just 39 years old, he was of course educated at one of the Ivy League universities here in Paris, and then went to the prestigious ENA, which is the classical training ground for people, the political elite here in France. Then went to Rothschilds.
That's all you tell me. He's a Rothschild banker, dude.
Hang on though, while I go off on a spiel, can you Google what is France's national anthem? Can we play that?
Yeah, but
just play it. Don't yeah but me. Now listen, okay? When I win the presidential election of the United States of America, when I'm old enough, 'cause I'm too young, I keep telling you guys that. When I win, I'm gonna come out to the national anthem of the United States. Why would you not come out to this? Trumpets. That sounds very Hunger Games. It's very Star Wars. It's very triumphant. Don't know what it says. Against tyranny. So that's why it couldn't come out.
Bloody banner is raised. So I'm pretty sure that that's kind of why. It's a very nationalist song, and he's not allowed to be a nationalist.
Well, I'm just saying that it says a lot when you come out to the EU anthem. It's not a national anthem, it's just an anthem.
Angela and the BBC are clearly delighted with the result of the French election. So
I think there's a lot of people that have a bottle in Macron. See, you got me saying Macron now. Macron.
He was on the phone to Mrs. Merkel, and he's flying off to meet her as quickly as he can. And the truth of it is, the French have voted for a president that wants that country run from Brussels and from Berlin.
Bingo.
So, do you know what? Against that, who gets in the French Parliament is quite a small bit.
Wow.
Oh, we have more.
We have more, Nigel. There's always more, Nigel.
First round of this election, 46.5% of people voted for parties that were fiercely Eurosceptic. In this round, it was more like 35%. What that says is that Marine Le Pen, with the Front National brand, was not able to bring together people from the left and right of politics under her banner. And I think what will happen here is, and I hope, because I spoke to her campaign team last night, I've been talking to her for the last 5 years, the Front National needs to get rid of the baggage of the past, of the shadow of her father, and when she does that, she'll be in a stronger position.
So he's basically saying that he has been talking to her, and she has left the front. She's rebranding. She's going to rebrand and create a whole new party.
Right.
So this is from Nigel Farage. He was on the phone with Merkel, and he's rushing to meet her as soon as possible. Okay, here he is with Lou Dunn.
Any surprise for you in the election of Macron? Is there any surprise in the defeat by 32 points of Marine Le Pen?
No, I think we knew that Macron was going to win. I don't think the French are yet ready for Frexit in the way that we were last year in our country. Maybe the one surprise is in the first round of this, 46.5% of voters opted for Eurosceptic candidates to the left, centre and right. Le Pen getting 35% tonight. Remarkably, 12% of those that turned up to vote despoiled their ballot papers.
This is very interesting. They showed up to vote, and in a like a protest, they literally spoiled the ballots on purpose
and put them in the box. And I've never seen anything like that happen in a Western democracy. And I think the reason is that the Front National has a bad history. Her father, I'm afraid she's often judged by him. And I've been urging her now, personally, for 5 years. And by the way, I've spoken to her campaign team tonight. She doesn't intend to give up. What she needs to do is to get rid of that National Front brand, to start again, and then all the people of left and right could get round her in the second ballot next time round. And do you know something? I think what Macron will give is 5 more years of failure, 5 more years of uncontrolled immigration, 5 more years of failure with the euro, and I believe Le Pen, if she steadies herself, can win this in 2022.
So it's kind of like when Obama won, and that's why Trump won, actually, because of Obama, winning here.
Well, look, I think 2016 was a pretty bad year for people like Obama. Brexit was a shock. Trump was probably even worse for him. And, the globalists will stick together. They realised that all across the West there is a new movement standing up and fighting for national democracy, and that is what Le Pen stands for. But once again, of course, Obama tries to paint this, that somehow he's got the positive vision for the future.
And then one more video here. I'm so glad that Nigel went on, because he knows
a voice of reason. He really does know what's going on.
He's probably one of the only voices in the media right now that has a positive outlook, or
because it's devastating for those of us that were rooting, that really knew that if Le Pen had won, it would have been pretty much the end of the EU.
Right.
I don't think that the EU is doing well and healthy and robust. But this has definitely not.
I think the whole idea of her running, all the globalists surrounded this election.
Yeah.
Obama went, Merkel, Juncker, everybody.
I really would like there to be an investigation on Barack Obama and the United States interference in the French election.
Yeah.
Him calling Macron twice. That's interference right there. I think so.
If we'd had this conversation, say 2 years ago, if 2 years ago I'd said to you that Marine Le Pen would be in the runoff for the French presidential election and likely to get around about 40% of the vote, you simply wouldn't have believed me. And that's how much things have changed. This vision of a Europe where nation states should give up their identities and have open borders, it may be a dream of the elites like Obama, but it's not what ordinary people want. And I've said it before, I'll say it again, the European project is doomed, and Brexit really was the first big step on that road.
People are pointing to chaos, right? Brexit is going to lead to chaos as the first round of Brexit starts to take hold in the United Kingdom. Is chaos on the streets right now when you walk outside on the streets of London?
The stock market is 30% higher than it was this time last year. We've had excellent export figures, and the UK economy is doing a lot better than most of the Eurozone economy.
What are the elites saying about that? What are the globalists saying about that?
What the globalists say is, that's because Brexit itself hasn't yet kicked in, but when it does, we're told that the British economy will fall off a cliff. And this is how the establishment status quo. They maintain their positions by telling people terrible things would happen if we have democratic change. That democratic change is sweeping the Western world. 2016, we will look back in years to come as 2016 was the year that changed everything, and that process is set to continue.
All right, well, you've had some good predictions over the past few months. What do you predict will happen today? If you're being honest.
This was from before the vote, but still, I still agree that we should definitely have an optimistic outlook on this.
Yeah, and I'm really excited because the push for Le Pen is a huge push. Mm-hmm. And I think that Macron being elected, you see the globalists moving, you see how angry they are. They're trying to take over the media. Well, they've already taken over the media. They're trying to shut down the alternative media big time. So stick with us. We're going to sign off here, and I'm going to do a short clip on some ballot fraud. Now, it has been said, again, everybody's going, oh, Russia interfered in the French election as well. I'm going to bring you a Hillary Clinton tweet on that saying, you know, this was a great win for Europe and for the EU and for democracy and blah, blah, blah. It's just really retardedness.
Well, okay, so my final thought on this was when was the last time that the entire world, including America, was looking at foreign elections so, being so attuned?
Move your head just real quick. It says, Hillary Clinton, she doesn't tweet out. She has handlers. Victory for Macron, for France and the EU and the world. Defeat to those interfering with democracy, but the media says I can't talk about that. So that was a huge hit. And then we're going to take this and I'm going to cover this again.
Right. So my point is the fact that people are awake all over the world looking at these elections that are happening overseas. You guys have kind of always looked at the American elections, I think, just kind of with a little bit of interest. Here in America, we really haven't. It hasn't been as important as it is right now. And so the fact that we're all awake to this is, I think, in and of itself, such good news. So, all right, you guys, this is Leah Michelle signing off for Resistance Chicks, where it is not a conspiracy theory. If it's the truth, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to Mass Faith 3 and Resistance Chicks. Ring that little bell for notifications. Find us on Facebook. Follow us on Twitter. We love you. God loves you. And God bless.
I was cold all alone. No place for